Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brendan here. Welcome back to another video. I guess I should have said it's Havoc Entertainment here. Welcome back to another video. But in today's video, guys, I want to talk about Captain Marvel. Yeah, guys, on both of my channels, it's been a little while since I've uploaded. I know that. I'm sorry. I've just honestly, it's just my fault. This keeps on happening just because I have an ecstatic schedule. And there's some family stuff going on in my life right now, but I don't want to talk about it because, again, I don't like talking about it all the time, and sometimes when I do, people always want me to get back to the normal way things are, the happy me and stuff. So I'm just gonna sort of dodge past it, and other than that, guys, no, let's not worry about drama, but let's just get into the video. But today's video is going to be about Captain Marvel. It's going to be a movie review, and I hope you guys enjoy it. You guys saw the thumbnail. I'm planning on doing more thumbnails. Yeah, the reason why I want to do this, and the reason why I'm doing it like this instead of like normally how I would do it, where I'd have like gameplay in the background of like a Marvel game or something, it's because this is more personal. This is more of just a movie review and stuff. A lot of people have been saying it's a horrible movie. I'm gonna keep this video short. As always, I'm gonna have a spoiler part and a non-spoiler part. I tried to already make this video before, like 2 days ago, but I didn't upload it because it was like 10 minutes long, and I kept on going over the same thing. So I'm just going to mention it once and then move on to spoiler territory. So real quick, guys, it's hard to talk about this movie without mentioning spoilers, but the movie was good, at least to me. There's some parts that you're gonna like more in the movie if you have read the comics and you do know what the character is about. A lot of people say it's a feminist piece. Not really. I don't think so. I mean, it's for women, but it's not feminist. There's nothing in it that's really like that. It just, I mean, it's not specifically for women, but it's definitely geared towards that because Captain Marvel's the first female superhero, and some people just are thrown off by it because I'm going to tell you guys real quick that it's more of a story-driven movie, and that's what I'm going to mention right now. This is so, like, if you're not into movies that don't have huge action set pieces, don't expect this to be an Infinity War. It's not. It's definitely more of a story-driven movie. It's definitely more about meeting Carol, finding out who she is. Her origin story is super confusing, and it's way dorkier in the comics than it ever was in this movie. And so adapting that to movies is a little bit weird. In this movie, it was different. There's a device in the comics called the Psyche Magnetron. No joke. That's literally the device that blew up in her face in the comics. And it's a lot. There's a lot to take in. There's a long history behind Captain Marvel. They just went to pretty much go with her original costume for this, or not her original costume, but like, because her original costume is technically Miss Marvel. But they went to go with her like newer costume for this, and it's based on this movie's based on like a 2015 run of comics, maybe before that. It's based on a comic book writer her name is Kelly Sue DeConnick. Forgive me if I butchered that, Marvel fans, but yeah. So it's based on a newer Captain Marvel run, but it still has hints of that old version. And just trust me, the storyline is confusing. It's annoying in the comics. Since the Kree and Skrulls are a little bit hard to take serious, especially if you're first getting introduced to them. Because let's be real, most people don't know about the Kree and the Skrulls. But to put it in short perspective, in the comics they had like this giant war constantly going at each other, and it was like a very 60s, very 70s, maybe 80s. I don't know what the exact timeline the run came out for. There's a secret invasion storyline which was newer, but basically it's really hard to take these characters, these alien species seriously. Ronan was one of the Kree, by the way, from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, the guy with the hammer. He was one of the Kree, by the way. But he was like a radical Kree. It's just very hard to take those two aliens seriously, but I think they did a great job in the movie. I think that for what they did in the movie, they brought a very serious tone to it. So honestly, I think for the audience, it probably would have been better had they not done that, because then people just can't take it seriously, because it's just a stupid name. On top of that, the Skrulls look super weird when they're not transformed into humans, and that's just generally because of what they look like. And it's just a hard story to explain. It's definitely more of a plot-based movie, and just to put it into perspective, a lot of people don't like that because of it. A lot of people say it's a feminist piece. Not really. I just think that it's just just a movie that happens to have a powerful woman in it. And I respect that. I really do respect that. For anyone who doesn't, I don't understand why. I think that men and women should be equal. I don't think that either one should have power over the other, but that's just me. But anyways, I'm going to get into spoiler territory right around now. Spoiler territory. Man, I cannot talk today. I do not know why, but it's so hard to speak. But yeah, so basically the movie starts out with Carol having the, like this little, spoilers by the way, having like this, having the machine blow up in her face. And so, yeah, it's definitely a weird place to start a Marvel movie. It's like right where the plot begins. But anyways, those are like flashbacks in her head, actually, what it turns out. And then she is on the Kree homeworld, Hala, and they're basically giving her the rundown that the Skrulls are bad people, which we later find out in the movie that they aren't so bad. They're just looking for a home, and that Jude Law's Star Force, or Jude Law's Yonrog is his name. He's not Captain Marvel in the movie. Is actually the bad guy, which I did see coming, but I didn't see it coming in the way that I expected. I thought he would also be sort of Captain Marvel too, but it turns out Captain Marvel was actually played by Annette Bening, is what her name was. I was just trying to figure out the name there for a second. She also plays the Supreme Intelligence, which is like the Kree king, basically. Just imagine as a king. I don't really want to. She's basically an artificial intelligence, an AI. But in the comics, it's like a giant like octopus face. It's sort of hard to explain. They even have a line about no one can look upon the Supreme Intelligence true form and survive, which honestly, if you know what she looks like in the comics, it just makes it seem pretty funny. Basically, she plays Captain Marvel, and so it's like a female version of Captain Marvel, I guess I should have said, like the OG one, and it's just weird. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't take me out of the movie, but it just was a weird turn. I liked the turn, actually. I didn't think that he was a big enough character to complain about them changing, like gender changing it, but it's fine. I mean, honestly, it's that character had a lot of weird history and stuff. But yeah, like I said, the movie's plot based, and there's all sorts of stuff in the movie, so all sorts of plot twists and just stuff you don't see coming. It's very, very plot based. There's some action, not gonna lie, there are some action. It's not like an Infinity War level action, so don't expect to be like blown away. Like I said, don't go into this movie expecting it to be an Infinity War, otherwise you will be disappointed. Because you guys gotta remember that Infinity War took 10 years to set up. You realize that Infinity War wouldn't have worked if we didn't know who the characters were in the first place. So the fact that people are complaining that we're still doing origin stories is just kind of stupid. Because honestly, if you just threw Captain Marvel into this universe and just said she was in Avengers and no one knew what was going on, it would be so disconnecting. So you need this movie, whether you like it or not. You need this movie to set up for Infinity War. It also had some two end credit scenes. The last one was pretty funny. It was the cat Goose, who in the comics is an alien, and in the movie is also an alien, called a Flurkin. But in the comics, the cat's name is Chewie, after Chewbacca. Goose in the movie is after a character from Top Gun. But basically, at the end of the movie, you have that cat throw up the Tesseract because for whatever reason, like the Flurkin's body, like inside of it is like an endless dimension that can hold anything, which is why in the movie it's eaten like 50 Skrulls, and it doesn't look any bigger. So it's just a weird little thing, weird little detail, and it was a pretty funny moment in the movie too. People came out of the movie saying the cat was amazing, but the cat was funny, but it wasn't like this. It wasn't the show stealer for me. I did love Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. I think they did a great job with the story, and that's just what I liked about it so much. Is they took a very weird niche type of character, and they made it. They did a pretty good job. I'm not gonna lie. I liked it, but other people are gonna not, because they're not as big of a Marvel nerd as me. So obviously this movie review is gonna have a little bit of bias. But yeah, this video is also ending up to be like 10 minutes long, so I'm sorry about that. But the other end credit scene before I go was Captain Marvel showing up in Avengers Endgame. and that was amazing. End credit scene. Obviously, it had the pager. They were like holding it inside of like its own like glass containment. It stops, and then Captain Marvel's just behind them and says, "Where's Fury?" And then it ends, and I love that. And so thank you guys for watching. I'm giving you my opinion of the movie. I thought it was really good. Like I said, I don't always do MC reviews. I do. Most of the time the recent ones that I've done have been on like live streams around the time the movies came out. So if you want to go find those, they're just on like my Marvel live streams, like my Spider-Man live streams or my Lego Marvel ones. But yeah. Yeah, if you guys are wondering, by the way, I don't have a face cam on my PlayStation videos, it's because technically the face cam I use for my Xbox is a Kinect. So that was just a random piece of information I just wanted to let you guys know. But the movie was good. I thought it was good. You may not think the same thing. It's definitely a very, I'm not gonna say niche. I think the average audience can get it. I just think that people are complaining because it's not Infinity War, and I think that people are setting the bar too high. Because not every movie is going to be Black Panther or anything else like that. Marvel's killing it, don't get me wrong, but you got to stick with it through its ups and downs. And some people just don't do that because they just like to go and see the good movies, and that's their fault. So then they get lost in the middle of the movies and just like, okay, well, that is what it is. That's not how I watch movies. I've been there since the beginning of Marvel, and I will be there until the end whenever people start really hating it and start throwing it down, which... it happened to the comics, and eventually, sadly, it's going to happen because people eventually, even if you have too long of a good thing, people start getting greedy and they start wanting more, and that's just the human race. And man, I probably should have ended this video already. This is longer than my last one, but at least this time I actually talked about different stuff instead of the same thing over and over. But thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys on the other side, and peace out.